Hello again, guys, and today I've got the first game that I've ever played in the Z-23. This is a steaming pile of ship here, and well, I can't really judge a ship on just one battle, but based on what happened in this battle, it's hard to not like it right off the start. We're here on Estuary, which sometimes I like this map, sometimes I don't. This map, I think, worked pretty well for this ship because it allowed me to really ambush some of the other ships out there and basically always keep some sort of cover nearby that I could use. Now, I have a 10-point captain in here. I got some of those little Christmas things, and I just stuck one of the... I got an Emden, I already have the Emden, but it came with a 10-point captain, so I just stuck it in this ship, so it's not actually it's not a fully trained captain yet. It will still have the retraining debuff, I guess, if you want to call it that. But the ship itself is fully elite. I've got the Z-22, so I'm probably going to make a video on that pretty soon too. I really like that ship as well. But here we are in the Z-23. Now we're going to go towards A here. I don't have concealment on this ship. I don't have... maybe I'll do a little... maybe I'll... excuse me. Maybe I'll do a little bitty sort of overview, I guess, of the captain skills modules I'm using. But for now, basically I'm not using any sort of stealth. I don't have the commander skill for stealth, and I also am actually using the rudder shift mod 2 instead of concealment module, and I'm using the propulsion unit, I guess is what it's called. And I'm basically doing that because you can't stealth fire in this ship, so it's kind of like, to me, like the Russian ships. Like, you can't stealth fire, so you shouldn't really try. But I was gonna go nose into that cap, but knowing that my stealth is bad, I decided not to, and we're starting to get lit up, so I'm gonna pop smoke, and I'm gonna wait to put it between me and the Benson here, and then go ahead and repair. Now I'm not detected, so we repaired the fire, and I think it was the engine. Gonna go ahead and fire a few more rounds. I do have the, like I say, the ship is fully elite, and there was a bit of lag right there, actually, during the game. Firing torps in there, but we had a alright, well, since I have the Z-52, I've got everything researched, and I decided, well, I'm gonna get everything on this ship elite, because it'll be nice to have a tier 8 to run around in. New Orleans, we're just gonna fire at him, see if we can lob it over the island there. And one thing I don't like about the ship is the range is just terrible. You know, hydros, we put our hydro up, we spotted the torps right there, so we're going to start moving out of here. I don't really want to camp too much in the smoke anyways, because, oop, torp it, and second torp it, we've killed that Benson. But I don't really want to stay in the smoke too long because it doesn't have a very long duration, and so I really don't want to be caught out. That guy's going to eat those. Although he was pretty much dead anyways. And so we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Don't want to hit the island there either. But as I was saying, the range is just absolutely terrible. Obviously, since these are the 150mm guns, I don't have AFT. I've got DE. I'm basically making a dedicated captain for this guy, so it's got DE instead of AFT. And so the range is, I want to say, well, look down on the minimap and it's 10.8 there. So you really can't... you don't have the range that you have on the Z-52 or even a lot of destroyers at tier 8 that are gunboats anyways. And I won't necessarily call this a straight up gunboat. It's got very good torps in my opinion. But I will say that you do use your guns more than you would on a Japanese destroyer. And you see that I've already reloaded my torps, and that wasn't too long of a, you know, that didn't take too long. I'm going to start launching them down there. There's a bunch of ships. I may or may not hit any, but honestly, There's so many that I may as well fire them off, and it reloads so quick that who cares. I'm trying to set this Turpitz on fire in case he blunders in one of the torps, because he's probably the most likely candidate for doing that since he's least maneuverable, bigger target, all that. We're getting some cap resets here, which is nice because A, that gives me experience, but also B, it keeps them from capping. The New Orleans they managed to dodge, but I think the Turpitz, yeah, the Turpitz, okay, so the Turpitz did eat one of those. Our engine's out. And here's one of the things that the really bad stuff of the German destroyers kind of comes into play. You know, if I were to try and break contact there, I'd still be detected up to, you see, 15.7 kilometers for 20 seconds, so I'm just going to keep on blazing away and see about either popping smoke here, which is, maybe I'll do that, because it's, they're coming towards us, so as long as we have someone spotting for me, then realistically, I've got this island here if I need to. The New Orleans pops radar, so we'll go ahead and pop smoke and start shooting. And that's when I realized our New Mexico just died from torpedoes, and the cruiser behind me, which I figured good spot, he's smoked up too because he's a Kutuzov. So I'm gonna back out of this out of the smoke screen here momentarily just to get a little bit of a feel of where the enemies are at. I think I'm gonna fire some torps through that gap there because it's likely they're gonna try and cut through there. I know how people are; they're lazy. I'd do it too. I'm checking to see what my hydroacoustic, the range is on it. It's like 4.12 ship acquisition, so I'm not going to bother with it yet, I don't think. Uso out there. We did momentarily get spotted, and there's the Takao that did it. We're going to queue up AP rounds, but since we have HE loaded, we'll fire him off, but it really won't matter because, well, now he's behind the island. Hopefully he didn't manage to spot our torpedoes. I don't think he would, but maybe he had hydro activated too. And, maybe. I don't know. It didn't look like he probably would, but... Well, there is a plane, so the plane could have done it, I guess. We're going to designate that. The AA on the ship doesn't seem very good. Doesn't seem very good. I'm getting radared or hydro, not sure which. Probably a little bit of, well, yeah, I don't know. There was a New Orleans, so who knows. There's also Shores. What is Shores? Tier 7, so he won't have radar. But loading up AP, though, because he doesn't have much armor, and he's pretty close. I don't have my smoke, so I want him to die first, or very quickly. Now, luckily, his turrets aren't pointing at me, so if he decides he wants to go for me, he's going to have to first turn the turrets. And there's 2 Citadels. Again, 150mm guns on this thing. German AP damage, pretty nice, and there he is. Now, I did have help, but, I mean, 4 Citadels, you see, that does a lot of damage there, so... I'm gonna try and get a few more AP hits into the Takao right there, and I'm thinking he's probably gonna run aground, so I'm gonna wait instead of trying to torp. I noticed he was turning. Ooh, he just took a big ol' hit. But there's a North Carolina back there. And a New Orleans, so if I fire it roughly right there, I might be able to hit them both. Spotting some torps. I would assume the Takao is the one who fired those because he went across there, probably saw one of our battleships back there or something. But we're going to load HE, or fire HE, and then load AP back up for this New Orleans because he's still giving us broadside. And I think he's slowing down. Aim a little lower, try and maybe hit him in Citadel. He's fairly broadside, so... if we hit him, it should do some damage. And we're going to stop here and pop our smoke. Because this is another good spot. We've got an island in front of us. If we need to, we can duck behind. But then, you know, we got plenty of targets to shoot. And there's 2 torp hits. 3 torp hits, and the Takao is done. So that was one of the reasons I fired those torps right there is the Takao, he blundered around the corner. He was going to hit those most likely. But then also, I put him on the course for that New Orleans. But the New Orleans looks like it's going to die from somebody's guns. And it's sadly not going to be mine. Loading up HE though, there's a Colorado coming around the corner. Gonna try and set him on fire. Ooh, there's a North Carolina even closer. And my torps are almost back again, and that's one of the things I love about this ship. I don't have any sort of torpedo rearmament skills, anything like that, and you see the torps are almost back, so yeah. And we're going to fire this because we're about to go behind the island. I'll fire one there and then one right there in case he turns. And it looks like he already might be turning. Tried to fire to see if I could sneak it through those islands, a few shells, but we couldn't. I really wish I wanted to set him on fire before the torps hit, or in case the torps hit, I should say. And it looks like a couple of them might. No. Oh, what a lucky dog. Well, that's unfortunate. We only have a minute left though on the torps, and he's burning. His guns aren't facing us. We're going to start moving away from him, and you'll notice I've actually used my last smoke screen. I am running the premium smoke, but again, I mentioned earlier, my captain isn't fully trained for this ship, which is why I'm using the camo that's on it. I think that gives like 250 percent, or what, the multiplier. It's pretty good multiplier for Commander XP. I can't remember the exact number, but it's nice. Now he is burning. We're getting lots of XP from defending the cap there. Another fire set on him. And our torpedoes are already 15 seconds away, so we're going to try and ambush him. We're pulling this up so I could see if he's going around this side or the other side, and it looks like he's starting to turn back towards this, so we're going to just start to line this up. And at this type of range, there's no way he's going to dodge. Hopefully, I say that, but well, then again, you can never be too confident. Shoot one a little closer and one about there in case he tries to turn, but he's not even paying attention to me. He's just ignoring me, look. The only damage he did to me was from his secondaries. And that's another ship sunk. At this point there's only 2 left, but I still think we might be able to farm a little bit of damage. And here's where that range comes into another issue I have. I gotta wait until he's back in range, and he's only 11 kilometers away. So finally I'm able to shoot. And hopefully we get some fires going. Oops. Bumped my computer there. Set him on fire, that's nice. See if we can start another. I probably could fire AP here, but I really wanted to get that juicy fire damage. And unfortunately, he puts it out. I started that one, but since the damage control is still working, it just puts out immediately. Come on. Our torps are, again, they're almost back up, but the game's about to end too, so we probably won't be able to actually torp him, but we'll try firing him off just in case. Alright, let's shoot these real quick. It might hit him before the clock goes down, I don't know. Kind of depends if they kill that battleship way up to the north that's out of our, what's it called, render distance. No, they might. They get a lucky hit on him. Meanwhile, focusing again on the Uso, continuing to anyways, so I can try and set him on fire. And there we go, there's a fire. Come on, someone kill that Gneiss now, so I have a chance to torp. I don't know, didn't happen. That's unfortunate. I really would have liked to farm a little more damage. But that was the first game I had in the Z-23, and I really think it was a pretty fun match. 9 torp hits, 4 citadels, 4 kills, just short of a Kraken. Top of the team for experience, and you'll see that I did a pretty good, pretty even damage with the torpedoes and the guns themselves, so it's always nice. But, let me know what you guys think of the ship here. I certainly like it. Well, it might be a while before some of you get it. I was saving experience, that way I could research as much of the line as possible, and I just ended up converting. But, let me know what you guys think when you get to the ship, or I know that. So, as promised, I'm going to go over really quickly what captain skills modules I have on the ship. So we'll go ahead and start with the modules here. Slot number 1, main armor mod 1. You pretty much don't want to lose your turrets. You know, the torpedoes are great, but I think the turrets are obviously where you're going to do most of your damage, or at least a good chunk of it, and I'd rather have them than a torpedo tube. Main battery modification 2. These turrets don't seem to spin that fast. And you only have one on the front. You have these weird kind of 3 in the back, and they're only single turrets, so you really want them always on target if you can have them. I have steering gears here because I have it, you know, I had one laying around, but you could probably put propulsion mod there and also be pretty good. In fact, honestly, I'd probably recommend that one first. I'm not saying this is what I would recommend, but I've got propulsion mod here. Steering gears is also another one. I think your steering is 4.5 for the rudder shift without any sort of things. I'd pull it up, but I have steering gears mod 3 in slot number 5. I would go with the concealment system, and that's definitely viable, but for me, your concealment is already pretty dang good at 7.7 considering what you are. You know, you have, what's the torps have? 9.5 kilometer range, and they're pretty fast. To me, this concealment here, you really don't need more than that to be able to torp people, so I'm perfectly fine with 7.7 on a boat that I'm going to be firing a bunch, you know, with. And you can't ever stealth fire even with full concealment, so really I don't care too much about that. But you know, the propulsion here, that'll help me get in and out of smoke quicker, and the steering here will give me minus 40% versus I think the 20% here. So what, 20%? Yeah, 20%. So it's overall, if you do it this way, you get a better rudder shift than you would get here, and you still get the propulsion. The only thing, obviously, you're not going to be able to contest caps as easily without that. Moving on to the captain skills. Again, this is a little weird for a destroyer. Secondary armament, BFT really doesn't do anything at all because you have no secondaries, and your AA is pretty trash anyways. You see it only goes up 1 point with that skill. It can't help your main armament, can't help your secondary. Again, none of those really. Well, the main armament is too big of a caliber. The secondaries, obviously, there are none. So I went with basics of survivability, which is nice for putting out those fires. You know, you always have it where you get a fire landing on you right as your damage control goes off, or you know, onto cooldown. So it's nice to put them out that much quicker. Last stand, pretty much. I don't think anybody would take anything different than last stand on a destroyer. Maybe you'd get torpedo armament here if you're Japanese, but realistically, this is probably what you want. Superintendent, so you get the extra hydro. I use the speed boost a lot on these ships. I actually think it's very good because of how low the range is on this ship. 10.8, I think it was. So for me, the speed boost gives you. It's never going to get you in the range of a Russian destroyer, but it'll get you faster. You're not going to lose, you know, as much speed in a turn when that's active. So I like the speed boost. And then, of course, your smoke, which, since your smoke doesn't last very long at all, it's actually like the worst smoke in the game, German smoke is. So you have more of them, which is really nice. And finally, since AFT doesn't work here, I went ahead with Demolitions Expert. And I think for the tier 5 skill, I'm probably going to go for concealment here when I get the points. I could see people getting, I could see him getting Jack of all trades because that would actually help out with your hydro, with your speed boost, with your smoke, but you'd almost run through, I think, those too quickly with that. So overall, this concealment here will help you stealth torp. And it'll help you, you know, nudge into or nose into caps a little bit better than if you don't have it. So, because again, detectability of 7.7, it's not that bad compared to like Russian destroyers, but it's still nowhere good. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video, and leave any feedback you've got for me in the comments. I'm obviously pretty new to the whole video thing, so if you've got constructive criticism, if you've got complaints or compliments for that matter, leave it down below in the comments, and I'll catch you next time. This is a Steaming Pile of Ship signing off.